Andrew, thank you very much. There is still a lot of discussion about FBI Director James Comey's assessment of the cyber threat against the U.S. He warned in an interview last week with CBS's 60 Minutes that Chinese hackers pose a significant threat. Their focus is on breaching the computer systems of American companies. The Justice Department earlier this year announced a 31-count indictment against Chinese hackers. While the Chinese lack sophistication, they are prolific. Their approach is to launch numerous ongoing cyber attacks, which are difficult to counter because of the high volume. Scott Pelley asked Comey why he pursued criminal charges against members of China's military.
We also thought it was very important to send a message to the world and to the good people of China that this activity is going on. And there were points at which the Chinese government had said, well, show us the evidence. So we have it, and we'd actually like to show more in a criminal proceeding in Pittsburgh.
What other country is up there with China in terms of attacking U.S. computers?
Yeah, there are others, but I think that's the one I'm going to stop at that point of the list.
Why don't you want to go on?
Well, for a variety of reasons. I mean, we've made public accusation with respect to the Chinese, so I feel comfortable saying that. We've got a lot of other sensitive operations going on that involve nation-state, multiple nation-states' efforts to get into our systems, both our government systems and our private systems. So I don't do anything to let the bad guys know what I know.
Earlier, I spoke to former FBI Supervisory Special Agent Tim Ryan, who during his tenure managed the largest cyber squad in the U.S. He's currently managing director of Kroll Cyber Investigations. Tim, welcome to Arise America. It's good to see you. So just paint a picture for us of how rampant cyber-terrorism is against the United States.
So cyber-terrorism is, I don't think it's as well defined as maybe it should be. Cyber crime is pretty rampant, but cyber terrorism, where we have people carrying out active terrors by breaking into computers, that's pretty rare.
That's interesting. I haven't really even heard someone, delineate that between cyber crimes and cyber terrorism. So talk to me a little bit more about that.
Sure. So cyber terrorism would be, usually when we're thinking about cyber terrorism, somebody is trying to create a terror-based event through cyber means. So what they're going to do is they're going to shut down water systems or blow up gas lines or something like that. That's pretty rare, and that's probably a little bit away right now. But cybercrime is where people intrude on computers to steal personal information, credit card information, bank information, stuff like that.
We've heard news story after news story after news story of these cyber crimes, as you have so well defined them. What is a bigger threat to us as a country? These hackers that compromise individuals' information, or the hackers that go in to steal information from large corporations?
So I think that to the economy as a whole, it would be targeting large corporations and stealing information from large corporations. They can go to one location, they can steal the information and compromise it in a variety of ways. So if we compare, let's say, the Target breach, like if the bad guys had to do the Target breach by targeting individuals, that would have taken them years and years and years, where here they can go into one entity and get all that information in one fell swoop.
And why do we seem to be so vulnerable to these attacks?
I think it's due in no small part to the fact that security on the internet is an afterthought. Most people want to connect to the internet, they want to download what they want to download, they want to watch what they want to watch, and security is an afterthought. You don't have to have a secure computer to use the internet. Unlike maybe some other devices that you use, like I'll give you an example. Let's say your microwave. So if you want to turn on your microwave, you have to close the door. It won't work unless the door is closed. Computers aren't like that. They can be very insecure and still get you the information you want.
And I understand that completely on an individual level. When you and I sit down with our laptop in front of the television and we want to buy something or we want to play a game, yes, I can see how that can sometimes be lax. However, a lot of these security breaches have been against Target, against the Home Depot, and just recently against JP Chase, a bank that I would think its computer system should be one of the most secure out there. How are the hackers making their ways into these supposedly sophisticated systems?
Well, it's kind of the same premise. So a corporation can install a server or a workstation, and it doesn't have to be necessarily secure by default. The other thing is that security is being added onto the internet rather than building systems with security in mind. So when we look at the cockpit of an airplane, that is also running a computer system. Those computer systems are far more difficult to hack than most of our financial or retailing kind of computer systems, because they're designed to be that way. They're designed to be very resilient against attack or even just errors.
So you're talking about sort of whole systemic change in approaching this. So what do you think then, in words that we can understand, is the approach to address this?
Sure. So I think many corporations are starting to do this. So instead of looking for viruses and malware, understand that those are out there and you're not going to be able to detect it. So what you need is to create a list of programs that are good, and only that list can run on your system. It's a different paradigm in what we call whitelisting. So Bit9 is one company that puts out a whitelisting product that's actually very good. It helps people, instead of trying to detect the newest virus, it says, I can't tell what the newest virus is going to be, but I know that these programs are allowed to run on my computer, and therefore I'm going to only run those programs.
I know that you were talking to our producer about this issue, and you were talking about how credit card companies sort of seem to not want to take some of these approaches because it might affect their bottom line. Talk about that just a little more.
Well, I mean, I don't want to be too cynical, but I think that there are some pretty easy solutions to the credit card theft issue. So when I use my credit card, my bank sends a text message to my phone right away, and I can see that my debit card has been used. However, when my credit card is used, my bank won't do that. My bank won't send me a text message saying that my credit card was just used. I think that's a fix. I think that if everybody could say that for every credit card that they use, they can put an email or a phone number on file, and the credit card company will send a text message to you whenever your credit card is used, it'll be very easy to detect illicit use of credit cards. So
why wouldn't a credit card company want to do that?
I think you should probably ask them that. I could be cynical about it.
But you do have an answer. Tell me that answer.
I think the answer is that, number one, it's going to require new resources that get deployed because you're going to get a lot of calls into a help desk. Number two, I think that credit card companies, without a doubt, make some money when people don't check their statements. And when you're getting a text message every day when your card is used, it's a lot easier to check your statement as it comes in, rather than 35 days later trying to remember if you did or did not get gas at a certain gas station or buy something off of Amazon.
Yeah, bottom line is to be vigilant, that's for sure.
Correct.
Tim Ryan, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.